Hi, everyone. My name is Eileen Yamoto. I'm the Retention Support Specialist for the University Bursar's Office. The University Bursar's Office is responsible for student accounts, billing, cashiering, third-party billing, and retention, amongst many other items. I'm very excited to be here with you today, alongside our partners, the Calco Student Financial Center, to discuss ways to clear registration holds. As we approach the registration date, it is critical that we exhaust every possible avenue to ensure students can continue their academic pursuits. The goal for today is to introduce the retention payment plan as a solution for current students who have an outstanding balance. So let's get started. Our agenda for today will cover an overview of retention and our retention campaign, the retention payment plan, what it is and what it isn't, how to avoid collections, the qualifications, the process, and the contractual obligations of the retention payment plan, a disclaimer for future use, and finally, a path to success and how to plan ahead. To begin, let's discuss an overview of retention and our retention campaign. The retention campaign is an 8-week interdepartmental outreach initiative designed to engage current students with an outstanding balance in solution-oriented discussion. The campaign runs concurrently with the University Bursar's internal collection notices during the fall and spring semester. The objective is to prevent students' accounts from continuing in the collection cycle and allowing them an opportunity to pursue their educational goals without interruption. Once again, this is all in efforts with our Calco Student Financial Center and the University Bursar's Office. Our efforts work hand in hand with other campus departments, such as the Economic Crisis Response Team, or ECRT, Housing, the Veteran Center, and Educational Opportunity Programs, just to name a few. One possible viable solution to our retention campaign is what we call the retention payment plan. The retention payment plan allows students to pay their outstanding tuition and fee balance by making payments over a 3-month time period. The term of the payments and frequency are evaluated by the retention team and must adhere to the retention campaign policies. Students interested in a retention payment plan must be qualified, approved, and on an official contract. Before we discuss these 3 steps, let's discuss what the retention plan is and what it isn't. It's also important to note the retention payment plan discussed in this presentation is for personal funding students or those not utilizing financial aid. Students who utilize financial aid must contact the Calco Student Financial Center for additional guidance. Moving on to the retention payment plan, what it is versus what it isn't. The retention payment plan is a path to registration. They may not conclude when registration opens. The retention payment plan will temporarily pause external collection placement, meaning your account will not be referred to external collections while on the retention payment plan. While on the retention payment plan, the student's account will have a positive hold on their account. This helps other departments know when a student is being proactive in clearing their account balance. Moving on to what it isn't. The retention payment plan will not remove the registration hold on the student's account. The retention payment plan will not allow registrations with a balance on the account. Lastly, being on a retention payment plan will not permanently stop the account from being referred to external collections. Continuing with the topic of collections, the goal of the retention campaign is to work simultaneously with the internal collections team in providing students an avenue to pay their balance and ultimately continue their education. The University Bursar's Office has a timeline of notices. Students begin receiving these notices 30 days before an actual due date. Students will also receive a notice 3 days before the due date. After the 30-day past due, that is when internal collections starts sending notices, and that is also when the retention campaign initiates. During that time frame, both departments are trying to make contact with the student, ultimately to allow the student to continue their education. It's very important to note that while these two departments are working together, the student is not in external collections. They are in internal collections, which means here with the university still. However, 120 days past the due date, the student will receive their final demand letter, and after that will be referred to external collection. The retention campaign ends 120 days past the due date. On this slide, we'll discuss the qualifications of the process and the contractual obligation for the retention payment plan. Let's begin with the qualifications. Students must be currently enrolled in the current term, in this case, fall 2024. The retention payment plan, or RPP, can only be drafted for tuition and fees. This means it will not be applicable for housing. Balance must be paid within the time frame outlined in their policies and the contract. Student will also understand that all holds will remain until the balance is paid in full. Moving on to the process. When a student wants to get on a retention payment plan, they must submit a request for an RPP. The request for an RPP can be found by scanning the QR code or by sending an email to bursar.retention@stsu.edu. Once they have made contact with the retention team, they will receive a quote via email. Once they've viewed the quote, they must accept the terms, and then the contract will be drafted. On the third process, where it says contract, the contract will then be drafted and available for signatures. Once we receive the signed contract submitted and the down payment has been made, then the contract is in order. It's very important that in order to be on a retention payment plan, there is a down payment that must be submitted in order to initiate the contract. If a student misses a payment, the contract is voided. To view an example of a contract, you can scan the QR code there underneath contract. So now that we've identified the qualifications, the process, and the contract, let's move on to a disclaimer for future use. Disclaimer for future use. The retention payment plan is a helpful option provided to students to assist them in achieving their academic objectives. As mentioned earlier, if a payment is missed, the RPP will be canceled immediately and collections effort will commence. Students are allowed to utilize the retention payment plan twice throughout their academic journey at San Diego State University. The plan should not be considered a primary payment method, but rather a fallback option for unforeseen circumstances. It is very important that students are aware that they can only utilize the retention payment plan twice. And finally, let's discuss a path to success. The best plan is to start a plan. So we've outlined a couple items that students can begin doing now in order to ensure that they are successful. Number one, visit the University Bursar's website to find what the tuition due dates are. We currently have our most up-to-date tuition due dates posted. By scanning the QR code, you can help yourself become more comfortable with our website and navigate through some of these important dates. Number two, get acquainted with Money Matters, the Student Financial Reference Guide. Money Matters is a financial reference guide that is published every semester, and students have the opportunity to view different items that they could be interested in, such as tuition and fees, fees for mandatory fees for specific classes. You can also see what the refund schedule would potentially look for. So definitely get acquainted with Money Matters. Number three, sign up for an installment payment plan. These are installment payment plans that the student can sign up for before the semester begins. To get more information on the installment payment plans, log on to the University Bursar's website. We have a specific area just for installment payment plans, so you have the opportunity to navigate through that information. Number 4, create a budget for yourself. Use the cost of attendance sheet as a starting point to utilize a budget for yourself. Number 5, contact the Calco Student Financial Center for any questions regarding your account and maybe specific accounts related to your situation. We're always here to help, and our ultimate goal is to ensure that you continue your education. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. If you have any additional questions or concerns on the retention payment plan or anything related to the University Bursar's office, please feel free to email me at bursar.retention@sdsu.edu. And also, please provide some feedback by scanning the QR code. Hope you have a great day.